One of the reasons I took a data-centric approach to the gaming industry is because I can't feel my way through what's going on. However, with the data-centric approach, I can see trends that are coming along and patterns way before many people would see it. It's not that it's not in front of all of us, it's not that we can't see it, it's just in the gaming scene, fandom has basically poisoned what I think is the eye of the gamer. The eye of the gamer is a keen eye, an eye for detail. The mind of a gamer is one that can actually break down complex patterns. But when it comes to the business of gaming, many gamers allow for their love of gaming and fandom to cloud their judgments. I'm not saying this in a way to berate anybody, but what I'm seeing, guys and girls, is this is just the theme at this point. Got a comment from an audience member, a long one, but we're only going to read a little bit of it because it's one of those TLDRs. And he said, I'm not a console player, so I have no bias towards any of these corporations and their plastic boxes or handheld. I don't know how long Xbox is going to last in the hardware business. I know they stated they have no plans on exiting the console market, but how many times has Xbox said they are going to do something, fix something, bring something over, and fail to deliver? I'm going to go ahead and answer this question in the nicest way possible. Number one, if you take a very data-centric approach, you won't be in the I don't know category. You literally know exactly what Xbox is more than likely going to do. And I say more than likely because I'm not sure of anything myself. The data-centric approach shows you that Xbox's core business is the console. They don't have that kind of user base anywhere else for them to even be able to afford to abandon the consoles. They need consoles. Does that make sense? Imagine if you say, I don't know how long Chick-fil-A is going to last in the chicken business. You basically be killing the business. They don't have that alternative yet that they can pretty much stick with. Or maybe let's not be facetious. Let's say I don't know how long Chick-fil-A is going to basically be in the dine-in business because their drive-thru is their strongest piece. But both of them correlate to make a strong portion of the restaurant chain's business. If you don't know what a Chick-fil-A is basically America's chicken at this moment in time. They basically know how to do chicken, even though there are other, outlets that have possibly maybe better tasting chicken, depending on your opinion. Chick-fil-A is just the one that gives great service and also gives great chicken at the same time. The data does not support what it is that you say you don't know. The data tells you exactly, so it's your job to know. Does that make sense? And this is the thing. I think we've probably left it for a lot of people. People say, well, people are mostly casual gamers, so they don't really know this stuff. You should know. You said this. You said they have lost, upset, deceived, broken the trust of many of their customers. So, of course, their sales are down. They've been declining more and more. And since the launch of Xbox One, sales of Game Pass aren't meeting expectations. And between the last couple of years, blah, 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 all this talk. This person's a PlayStation player, by the way. They used to play on PlayStation. They say they're not a console gamer, but they should have said any more. But they're a PlayStation player. I know that because I read the whole thing before the video. But let me tell you something. Let me show you something. You said this, right? But I got to go ahead and say that Herman Holst, and I bookmarked it here. I know it's not, for some reason the internet's not letting me do that at this moment in time. But Herman Holst said in that PlayStation blog, March 10th, 2020, just because one AAA game is going to PC doesn't mean, that's going to be the theme and the pattern from now henceforth. And I'm just basically summarizing. He said that. If you consider that a lie, or rather a change in strategy, because now we know that that's not the case. All PlayStation games have a PC pipeline with Nix's, Jetpack Interactive or so, Blue Point, studios that are porting studios just sitting there waiting to transform a game to a PC model. When even the former head said, we didn't have any plans. Even said that they didn't even have any plans for day and date. But we know that that's not true because now all the live service games are going to PC day and date. So again, this is a PlayStation bias that you've developed in your memory because I myself played on PlayStation, but I went back to PC a while ago. The reason I came to Xbox to even bother looking is because they brought Game Pass to PC. And I said, what are these guys doing? And then I started looking into their business model and I was like, this is insane. Then I started looking at the data and I was like, this is really insane. You finally said this, and you were a former PlayStation player, so you finally said, I've looked at my Game Pass on PC. In my honest opinion, it's finally worth getting. Majority of Xbox consumers that have left because of all things Xbox has promised and not delivered have either jumped to Sony, who isn't any better as a corporation or PC for a better experience, they can go where they want to go. And if they're jumping ship, in what numbers are they jumping ship? Because we still look at the data and we see that Game Pass subs, they're still looking at like 34 million in total when you add core and everybody else. That's Xbox's bread and butter. The bacon and the eggs and the other side condiments are the other things that are cloud, Xbox Anywhere, Xbox OS, monthly active users on different platforms, game platforms like Call of Duty and such. And these things make up the bulk of Xbox's business. You said this. The only problem is if they exit the console market, there's no true competition to keep the console market honest, even though it already isn't honest, as both Microsoft and Sony have failed to meet the advertised expectations to their promised customers, and people are tired of it. Who is? Who told you that they're tired of it? Did Xbox players complain to you that they're tired of it? They're looking forward to the developer direct. I don't think they're telling you anything about them being tired. If there's an Xbox fan telling you that they're tired of anything, it's probably the potential of Xbox games going to PlayStation. But again, I've told those Xbox fans that they need to take a data-centric approach and stop feeling their way through the gaming industry. Why? Because we know that regulatory eyes are on Xbox's body. So Xbox has to play nice. They actually do. If they're going to buy more studios and buy more publishers, they have to play nice. And that's the strategy. If they don't play nice, they're going to say, well, you're trying to kill the gaming business. That's why Sony is not getting these games. You know Sony, wah, they go cry. They cry. Jim was crying everywhere, right? Oh, if they get Activision, our business is not going to be the same. If they give us a... So Xbox has got to play nice. They had to literally promise them 10-year deal. Promise everybody, Nvidia, Nintendo, because they knew they just had to get Activision. They sold the cloud rights of Activision to Ubisoft. And Ubisoft's about to go, I don't know what's going to happen to Ubisoft. They had to play super duper nice over everybody else to get that position. Xbox fans and PlayStation fans, read an article someday. Like, you'll be acting like the news and the information is not out there. Sure, I like making videos, but goodness gracious, how many times are we going to say the same thing? Over 2 years. Good night. You said the saying that Xbox is dead. They aren't dead. They've seen a long time ago that they can't convince people to buy their plastic box anymore, so they came up with a strategy that will keep them afloat for a minimum for a while, and most likely in the long term. Yeah. I mean, when you say for a minimum for a while, it was a sustainable strategy. And you know what that strategy was? It was PC. When they went to PC, it changed their lives. PlayStation was basically fighting exclusivity. When the data leaked and we saw these exclusive games, how poorly they were selling on the PlayStation platform, you do know there's a whole spreadsheet out there that came out that basically correlates a lot of the sales data. And we saw these games selling 7 to 15 million max, with the games like Spider-Man breaking out of it, and then Horizon, when they moved it to PC, and God of War and all these other games, having PS4 and PS5 as pipelines, and they weren't doing anything close to what games like Elden Ring, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and all these other games were doing. It basically exposed PlayStation. Then they had like maybe even almost 15 live service games planned. They were talking about releasing 12 in 2026, but they've canceled 3 in less than like 2 weeks. We're knowing about it. Who's to say what other games are being developed that are being canceled or not even canceled that we don't even know about, that's not been reported and nobody has any idea of? And I know I'm talking about PlayStation, but you were a PlayStation fan, and somehow you're worried about Xbox. I'm sorry, but Xbox's console is not going anywhere. I know many of you may wish to see this, as some kind of a dream or fantasy, but it's just not there. And anybody who's telling you that is lying to you. They're basically manipulating your feelings. Because like I said, a data-centric approach is the approach that's going to tell you exactly what the most likely outcome is going to be. Simply because you can already see that this is where money can be made for the company. Once you just realize where's the next money piece, for PlayStation, it's day one launch on PC. That's it. You can buy their boxes all day, but when only 2% of their player base buys Astrobot, you know that there's a fundamental challenge in them convincing people to buy their games. When only 6% buy God of War Ragnarok, you know that there's a challenge in convincing their own customers to buy their single-player games. This is exactly what we need to be looking at. Xbox already knows, okay, people don't want to buy our boxes. Let's go sell them to people who sell our games to people who buy our games. And then the box owners want to complain, oh, they're taking their games everywhere. Shh. They've been taking it everywhere since 2016. They've been taking it to PC since 2016. Some of you complained then, and you got told to shush. You accepted it, it's fine. Let them go make money. You subscribe to Game Pass if you want. Buy the game if you want. Don't buy the game if you want. Go to PlayStation and buy the game if you want. Build a PC and buy the game if you want. It's all there for you. That to me is a more sustainable strategy. PlayStation is still cosplaying exclusivity. That's why all of you think they're still some kind of a company that's worth thinking of. Talk to me in the comment section, guys. Peace out.